1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Was that low?
No, it wasn't. It's been counted as a count, a body shot. Now then, can he get up from this? He's got to get up. He can't say. No, he's knocked out. Ricky Hatton is knocked out.
I said after the Sanchez fight, my best days, you know, are behind me and I'm going to retire now. I wanted to make a comeback to find out if I still had it, and I found out that I didn't have it, and that's why I retired. Train me fighters, Campbell's gone professional. I'm in such a happy place, and I think during the lockdown, you know, there was a little exhibition bout, wasn't there, between Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. So it's the obvious question that I got asked, you know, would you be interested in doing something like this if it came along? Well, the opportunity has come along. It's against Marco Antonio Barrera, you know, and we all know how good Marco was, and we all know what a legend was, but I'm going to get the chance to have a move around him and to see just how good he actually was. Lockdown has been such a tough time for us, and now we've come out the other end. You know, what a nice thing to do for the fans in the Manchester Arena than Ricky Hatton doing an exhibition bout against Marco Antonio Barrera.
Come on. He's in the building.
Thank you, brother.
You're not at the club now.
Yeah. I might just sit on your lap here, pal. So
You can talk for me, bro.
Thank you, buddy. I'm the fucking invisible man, pal.
So big out here, don't cameras.
I'm at a festival or something. There's no effect. The face is the past.
Wow, what an honor, right?
A mí a los 48 años me acaba de salir un gallo.
Oh, that's premium.
Como me lo acuesto hasta acá, nada más se me hace un copetito así. O sea, a veces echármelo para atrás.
You used to see me fat, that's what it is.
Y súmale que estas aquí se paraban bien. Pues ya se ya va a empezar. Les voy a hacer grabar eso. I remember that was in the fight.
Quality.
I remember the song. Oh,
Yeah. Even I got fed up with that.
¿Qué tal esa canción? Yo me las acordé, ya no me las sabía. Ay, qué gana. Las aprendí. Iba a estar peleando.
Oh, yes. Shouting up from the flag on the Star Wars.
¿Qué esperas de esta película?
Que la gente se divierta.
Oh, yeah.
La disfrute.
When he went, watch me knock out this big doss. I looked at him and went, did I hear that? Did he say that?
Por sí, pero no sé. Ya están arriba, no sé qué me pasa.
¿Puedes decir eso?
Is that the crew from your old fights? Is that the crew from your old fights?
Yeah.
Wicked.
I think I did.
2 minutes.
They annoyed Las Vegas. They were everywhere.
Yes. Love it.
Hoodies from 6 years ago. I'll have to get him some new hoodies.
No, it wasn't. It's been counted as a count, a body shot. Now then, can he get out from this? He's got to get out. He's knocked out. Ricky Hatton is knocked out.
I said after the Sanchez fight, my best days, are behind me and I'm going to retire now. I wanted to make a comeback to find out if I still had it, and I found out that I didn't have it, and that's why I retired. train me fighters. Campbell's gone professional. I'm in such a happy place, and I think during the lockdown, there was a little exhibition bout, wasn't there, between Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. So it's the obvious question that I got asked, would you be interested in doing something like this if it came along? Well, the opportunity has come along. It's against Marco Antonio Barrera, and we all know how good Marco was, and we all knew what a legend was, but I'm going to get the chance to have a move around him and to see just how good he actually was. Lockdown has been such a tough time for us, and now we've come out the other end. What a nice thing to do for the fans in the Manchester Arena than Ricky Hatton doing an exhibition bout against Marco Antonio Barrera. It will hopefully show to people out there who have been suffering with mental health, but what you can do if you, even at 43 years of age, when you knuckle down and put your mind to something. It's going to be a party, a festival, going to be all sorts going on. We're ticking every box on the night, and I think the fans will not be disappointed. I don't like doing anything by half for my fans, and they're going to love this as they always did.
Right, good afternoon everyone. Thank you very much for being here on a Sunday. We really appreciate you all coming out and showing the support to the fighters like you are. We're here today for good reason. We're going to be talking about what we think is going to be a really quite special event this Saturday, the 2nd of July at the AO Arena in Manchester. We've got a packed out card full of exhibition boxing, live music performance from chart-topping acts. We've got a few other surprises along the way as well, which we'll get into over the next few weeks. I'm going to start off by introducing our headline fighters. We're very, very pleased to welcome to the UK the legendary Mexican boxer Marco Antonio Barrera. He's going to be facing Marco's going to be facing off against someone whose story we've all followed over a number of years, the hitman Ricky Hatton.
We've even dusted the trumpets down.
We've even dusted the trumpets off. Thank you. Going from my right to the left, I'll introduce the rest of the fighters. He's not here at the moment, but he'll be here at some point. Don Strapzy, digital star, music and crossover. I'm then pleased to introduce UFC Hall of Famer Diego the Nightmare Sanchez. We're also thrilled to have another British fighter returning to the ring after an extended layoff in Dan the Outlaw Hardy. And we'll round off with a gentleman sat to my right here, Irish hip-hop royalty, Casper Walsh. One third of the group versatile. Give it for Casper, please. All right, so I don't want to take up too much of your time. We'll go straight to the floor. We'll start with Gary, please.
Gary Newborn. Ricky, good afternoon. Marco Antonio Barrera's had 2 exhibition fights, as I understand, has enjoyed them in the United States. Why are you doing it?
Well, I think the first exhibition that was done, once it was Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., wasn't it? And obviously, I got asked, like I'm sure most boxers got asked, if an exhibition come up, would you be interested? And I said at the time, I said, yeah, if the offer came in, to do an exhibition, I said I'd jump at it. And then we went into lockdown. We had the COVID, and a couple of years went by, and it was a couple of months we got the phone call, from Europa Events and said, listen, COVID has been a terrible time for us all. I think I can speak for everyone here. We've lost people through the COVID. I've lost family through mental health because of the COVID. And they said, but would you like to do an exhibition in the Manchester Arena one last time and sort of like have it as like not a boxing show, but like a celebration of coming out of the COVID, having one last move around at the Manchester Arena? And I said absolutely, yeah. I said, providing they can get the right platform and someone can put a proper job, and we can get somebody that's going to make it make it an event, and it doesn't come better than sharing the ring with my friend Marco Antonio Barrera, does it? Really doesn't. An absolute dream.
So it's been well documented what your own problems were. and you said that some of your mental health problems started after the Pacquiao defeat. Tyson Fury's had his problems as well. Mark Selby, the world snooker champion, has come out and said he's had problems. There is a picture that was taken in your gym where Tyson Fury was 12 stone heavier than he is now, and I think you were much heavier.
Yeah, I had a few tyres as well, yeah.
Does that prove things to people?
Well, it is, I think it's been well documented how I bang the drum about mental health. It's very, very important to me, and it's very, very important to Tyson. And I think if people, that picture that you're talking about with me and Tyson, it was about maybe 5 years ago, when we were both massively overweight, and you think in that 5-year period, when I was going through my problems and everything like that, you could turn around and say, well, look, Tyson now is the heavyweight champion of the world. He Wembley last night, 94,000 fans. Absolutely brilliant. Look where he was 5 years ago, look what he is now. And I think if they say, look where Ricky was a few years ago on the bottom rung of the ladder with his suicide and, and depression and all the things that I went through, and say, look what he's doing now 5 years down the line. He's doing an exhibition at the Manchester Arena with Marco Antonio Barrera. And if it makes one person in that crowd turn around and say, look, my life's terrible, but look what Ricky's done, look what Tyson's done, this event will be worthwhile for me, honestly. And people say, well, why are you doing it? Are you doing it for this? You're doing it for that? I think it's pretty obvious for that. I mean, even though me and Marco retired, we're not dead. we still got to set ourselves goals, and things to get up for, in the morning. And I think I speak for Marco as well, to going to this training camp, and get yourself in shape again, for my novice professionals to see me, how I prepare myself. I just think there's nothing but positivity that comes out of this whole event. I really do.
Can I ask Marco why he's doing this, and is he going to give Ricky plenty to think about in the ring?
Que por qué estás haciendo esta exhibición y que si le vas a dar una buena cátedra al Ricky arriba del ring.
Buenas tardes. Bueno, primeramente, gracias por la invitación, por subirme al ring con un gran amigo extraordinario, ex campeón mundial que ha dado Inglaterra, UK. Y estoy emocionado cuando se me habló para poder hacer la exhibición. Pues me puse contento porque yo nada más lo conocía de como extraordinario amigo, pero nunca me imaginé estar arriba del ring con una leyenda como es Hatton.
First of all, thank you for having me here. It's a great being next to my great friend Ricky Hatton. Never thought about sharing the ring with him. I always say him as my friend. I just go to his fights, he goes to my fights. So being able to share the ring with him is an extraordinary honor for me.
Okay, Ricky, I'm going to let other people ask questions now. I just wanted to ask you whether you think you're coming back, the hitman rises. Do you think Tyson Fury's going to rise again, or do you think that might be it?
I don't know. Well, every time Tyson opens his mouth, you don't know what to believe, do you? And I say that with love. But no, I think, he says he's going to retire. And as a friend, I hope he retires, because, I mean, he's given such value for money over the years, you know what I mean? He's had problems out the ring. Watching his fights against Deontay Wilder, I mean, I went for the first Wilder fight, I was in the corner, oh my God, it took 10 years off my life. It was just seeing your friend keep getting knocked down and getting up and getting knocked down up. It's not nice to see, and he can't do any more in boxing. I think his legacy is set there. But knowing Tyson, like I know him, I don't think he'll want to hang his gloves up without he ticks that boxes with Usyk and AJ, to be honest with you. He's a fighting man. He'll say he's retired, but I mean, give it a fortnight, he'll be back up. He'll be back up and wanting to do that. Tyson, he wants to prove he's the best, and even though he is the best, he can't have them 2 question marks hanging over his head, can he, with AJ and Usyk? So I don't think he'll retire, no.
That begs the question, July the 2nd, exhibition fight, we're looking forward to it. Do you think Tyson Fury will be there to support you? Absolutely,
yeah. To be honest, yeah. I mean, we're both very, very proud Mancunians, and the fact that I could fight Mr. Bean in Manchester, and the fans would turn out on me. But but no, Marco Antonio Barrera. I mean, we all know what a legend he is, what great fights he's been in, and we've been friends for a number of years, and we all know how good he is, and I know how good he is. But I mean, to get the time to actually have a move out in the ring and share the ring with him, and so I can find out firsthand just how good he is, it might it's a dream, to be honest, and I like to think it's the same.
Actually, I was going to hand over. I'd like to ask Marco, if I may, one more question. We know you over here as a great fighter, but also as the only man who beat Nazim Hamed.
Pues sí, tuve la oportunidad de pelear con él, con uno de los mejores boxeadores en aquel tiempo, hace creo que ya 21 años, haberme levantado con el triunfo, creo que me abrió las puertas y antes de todo eso pues ya conocía a Ricky Hatton y llevamos muy buena amistad.
Yeah, it was around 21 years ago. I got the opportunity to fight against Nazim Hamed, and before that I was great friends with Ricky, and after that I think I got a lot of fan base here in the UK.
Somebody else?
Ali Oladipo, TalkSport. Ricky, you mentioned this is just one fight, one return to the ring. We are seeing a lot of fighters in and around your era now have exhibition fights. If it goes well and successful, are you planning to do 2, 3, 4 more?
I've not looked that far ahead, to be honest with you, but if it is a success, and I think the fact it's not even a gamble whether it's going to be a success, I think it will be a success, you know what I mean? And if another one comes forthcoming, you know, I'd certainly look at it. You know, the one thing is, we all have idols in boxing, don't we? And when they make a comeback, we always worry that they're going to get hurt. Well, this isn't one of them. This isn't one of them occasions. You'll be able to see, you know, to your heroes, if you like, you know, to showcase the skills without getting hurt. And I think that's what it's all about. And that's why when I retired, when I got beat by Sanchez a few years ago, I said my best days were behind me, and they are, you know, to actually fight. But to do an exhibition, no, I mean, no, it was an easy decision for me to make, and I really can't wait.
You're one of those fighters that can fill arenas. You've always done it throughout your career. You could have fought anyone. Why a friend? Why Barrera? No, because I mean, there's like it will be competitive. It will be dead entertaining. But because we're friends, you know, you know how far to go and how far not to go. You know, it'd be competitive. It'd be a really nice move around, and you know, and because I know Marco, and I feel confident that's going to happen. You know, I'd rather do it with Marco because there's that respect and understanding of what we're in there for and what we're in there to do. But if it was someone I've never met before, then there's always a risk once that crowd roars, you know. So, but you know where I'm coming from, don't that? But no, me and Marco, we're two professionals, we're friends, and I think I speak for Marco, and we're just looking forward to putting on an entertaining show for everyone. I think everyone's going to love it. Question for Dan as well. Dan, great to have you here as well. You've not fought since 2012. There's always been whispers of Dan the Outlaw Hardy coming back. You're fighting Diego Sanchez, who's been active. It's a bit of a risky one, this for you.
Yeah, but that's what makes it fun for me. You know, I didn't want to step in there against somebody that wasn't prepared and wasn't willing to push me. You know, there's no fun in this if I'm beating up someone that I feel is too easy to hit. And Diego is a warrior. You know, I remember sitting cage side when he fought Clay Guida, knocked him down with a head kick. It was one of my favourite fights I've ever watched live. And I've always felt like Diego and I were on a collision course. It's interesting that it's boxing, and we've got basically 4 pairs of gloves on each, you know, when it's compared to MMA gloves. So I think this is going to be a really fun one. You know, we both like to come and trade big punches. We've both got a high work rate. And I know he's got a chin for days, and I know I've got a good chin as well. And I think that's going to make this a really interesting one.
Diego, we hear from a lot of American fighters, whether it be MMA or boxing, when they come over about just the UK crowd, the UK atmosphere. You're obviously coming to a Ricky Hatton fight now, which is going to be a ridiculously good atmosphere. You must be looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to this opportunity to come back to England. Back in 2008, I fought at the O2 Center, main evented UFC 95, and it was a great fight. And the fans were great, and the food is good, and I can't wait to come back and get more of the fans and more of the food too.
We will provide, trust me. Final question.
Can I go on Ricky Hatton's show? Yeah, yeah, get the food.
Casper, I see you wearing the Black Forge top, obviously Connor's pub. Any advice from the big man?
No, I haven't spoken to him as of yet, yeah, but he's just he's me exclusive sponsor for us, so he sent me out to get before they came over here, so yeah, I'll probably do a bit of training with him down the line.
James Green from Sky Sports News. Ricky, what have your family said about the exhibition? Are they pleased and supportive of you doing it?
They're delighted, and I think they're dead proud because, I mean, you can imagine when I don't want to sound like a broken record, you know, when I keep going about all the bad times I've had, you can only imagine how horrible it was for my family to see me sort of like crumble as a person, and to see me getting into a training camp, getting into a regime, getting fit again, you know, and to hope, fill the Manchester Arena and do an exhibition with my friend Marco, as I said earlier there, it doesn't need me to say how proud my family was. My mum was the one who had to convince the most. Oh, what you doing? You're doing it again. What you doing to me, Ricky? I'm like, Mum, calm down. It's an exhibition. We'll be all right, you know. And it took my mum a little bit of convincing, but she's got her head around it now. And the best thing, you know, they've seen enough heartache with me over the years when I was in my bad way, but no, I think they're going to be proud of me again on July 2nd, yeah.
It's always the mums. I was going to ask you is, during those tough days, what did you do to get out of those tough moments? And what could you tell and teach other people that are maybe going through similar struggles?
Well, it doesn't matter who I fought in the ring. You know, I could pretty much, I always had half a chance what I could do in the ring. But probably my weakest thing was, what was between my two ears. To be honest with you, I mean, I wasn't best with, I got this illness, and I couldn't do it myself. I tried to do it. My second child came along, Millie. She wasn't planned, and I thought, come on, Ricky, you've got to get yourself together now. It's not about you, it's about your kids. Come on, you've got, get yourself together. And I did a little bit, but still struggled. And I went and spoke to someone. I went to see a psychiatrist. I watched in the office. I fell on my knees, put my arms around his back, and I said, "You need to help me. I'm going to kill myself." And it was the best thing I ever did, and I have no fear of telling people that's what I did, because that's how bad it was. And if I hadn't have done that, and maybe I wouldn't have been here today to do this exhibition. I wouldn't have seen my son Campbell go professional. I wouldn't have made up with my mum and dad. I wouldn't have seen my two girls turn into the beautiful young ladies that they're doing now. I'd have missed out on so much. And if there's anybody out there that is struggling, all I can say to him is, please go and speak to someone. It's the best thing I've did, and they'll tell you what, Ricky Hatton has never been happier than he is today.
Yeah, well said. Back onto just a quick one on Tyson Fury. You said that you don't think he'll retire. What did you make of his performance? Was that potentially the best Tyson Fury we've ever seen in a boxing ring?
Well, Dillian Whyte is a dangerous fighter, isn't he? You know what I mean? He can punch so much and that. And it seemed, not being disrespectful to Dillian, it just seemed so one-sided, wasn't it? And I mean that, you've got to give all the praise to Tyson. Haven't you? You know what I mean? He kept him at a distance, outboxed him, and then he fetched that lovely, uppercut up. It was, it was a joy to see. But Dillian can, hold his head up high. Dillian can always now turn around and say, I fought Tyson Fury at Wembley Arena on St George's Day in front of 94,000. He earned the right to fight for the heavyweight champions of the world. You know what I mean? He should be so proud. But I think with Tyson, you're dealing with a genius. You know what I mean? We talk about, when you look at some of the greats of the heavyweight boxing, I'm not saying he's the greatest there's ever been, but I mean, he's got to be up there in the top 5 or 4, or something like that, isn't he? You know what I mean? He's fantastic what he does. Southpaw, orthodox, go to toe, jab, box and move, ticks every box, an ambassador for mental health. I feel proud to call him my friend, I really do.
And Ricky, I've got to ask you about Manchester City.
Ask all you want.
Great, sorry, everybody else. Chances of Premier League, Champions League double?
Absolutely, yeah. I think we're playing well. 5-1 the other day, 3-0 the game previous. I think we've got an easier run in than Liverpool. I hope this does not come back to haunt me, but I think I'm confident we can win all our games. We're a point in front, and if we win all our games, we win it. But I think we'll need to win all our games because Liverpool will win all theirs. You know what I mean? They're that far behind us. And I think the Champions League, I think we'll beat Real Madrid, and I think they'll beat Villarreal. I think it'll be a City-Liverpool final, and I can't think of a worse team to play in the Champions League final than Liverpool because of the history that they've got in it. So. But no, it's Yeah, I think I'm very, very confident. I thought City were going to win the Champions League the last 3 years, and we haven't. So I'm trying to play it down a little bit here, but fingers crossed. No, but hey, we're a good shout. I mean, the football that City play now. I never thought in my lifetime I'd be watching the quality we're watching it, because over the years we have watched some rubbish, but no, it's good to watch now, and long let it carry on, I guess. Yeah.
Marco, you mentioned, and someone else mentioned the Nazim Hamid fight. Are we going to expect a ring walk in this exhibition, like a Nazim Hamid ring walk?
Bueno, no, mía no, mi aspecto, mía no, pero lo que sí van a esperar una exhibición padre, nos vamos a divertir. Hatton, yo recuerdo en sus tiempos tenía el estilo mexicano y se va a enfrentar con el estilo mexicano, entonces la gente va a salir contenta de esa exhibición.
No, not for me. Definitely what you're going to see, though, is going to be a really great show in the ring. Knowing Hatton, he has that Mexican style just going on, just punching, not really just stepping back. So you're going to see a really great show on that night.
Marco, is there a career moment of Ricky's that you remember that stands out in your head?
¿Hay un momento en la carrera de Ricky que recuerdas con claridad?
Sí, y en donde toda mi gente de México me ha reclamado. Cuando él peleó con José Luis Castillo, yo subí con él en lugar de subir con José Luis Castillo. Hasta la fecha, mucha prensa me ha reclamado haber hecho eso.
Yes, and I still get a lot of bad things from that night when he fought against José Luis Castillo. I went into the ring with Ricky instead of with José Luis, which was like a fan. So I still get a lot of bad things from that, but that's one fight that I really remember.
It's a question for Don. Don, I'm curious how this opportunity came towards you and what exactly you're expecting from this experience.
Yeah, first of all, apologise for being late. I got it wrong on the sat-nav and that.
It was a heavy night last night.
Yeah, it's an honour to be on the same card as these fighters like Hitman and Barrera and all of these guys here, man. So it's a privilege. I got contacted by someone I know. Basically, I was doing a little bit of boxing training, putting on my Instagram. And next thing you know, I'm in a fight at Manchester Arena. So yeah, that's how it came about. In my life, I'm always taking challenges all the time, trying to improve and better myself. Me and the boys have been running an anti-knife campaign for the past 3-4 years for kids within our communities. So there's no better way for me than to kind of get in the ring with no weapons, with a guy who's actually an experienced fighter. I'm not fighting someone from Love Island or something, do you know what I mean? So it's a challenge for me, and I'm up for it, man. So yeah.
Diego, you've been in MMA for years and years now. I'm curious, what exactly are you expecting from fighting in a different sport of boxing?
I'm expecting what I've done in MMA. It's another fight. It's just a different rule set, and I'm just expecting to have fun. It's gonna be fun because I've been working on these hands for a good year and a half, just the hands. I was getting ready to do bare knuckle fighting championship, and I was training for about a year and a half on just the hands, and so. In all the progress that I've made in the year and a half, I feel like it's time to get out there and just do a training camp where, I don't have to do kicks, I don't have to do wrestling, I don't have to do jiu-jitsu. I can solely just focus on my hands, my movement, my defense, and I'm excited to fight Dan. Me and him, we're a good style matchup. And Dan's got a very high fight IQ. And I know that he's gonna study me well, and he's gonna come in the best shape that he can possibly come in. Coming off a long layoff, I think he wants to do this right, and I better do it right too.
I know there's a bit of history between you and Dan, but are you happy to be the person to welcome him out of retirement?
I'm happy for Dan because as a fighter, I know what it's like to step away from the sport, and me personally. I have such a passion for combat sports that when I was away for 2021, I missed it. I missed it like crazy. I missed the fans. I missed the adrenaline. I missed the rush. I just missed the fight game, and actually being a part of it from the inside out. And I'm happy for Dan that he's getting to come back and that he's getting a real opponent and a real fight because I've proved that I've been doing this for a long time and that I can still do it.
For you, Dan. Dan, obviously you're known as one of the best analysts in the game of MMA. So tell us how you see this fight going down and how you predict the outcome.
That's a good question. I've not really fully got into it yet. I think that, I mean, in my head, I know what Diego brings to the table. He's a very aggressive fighter. He fights in bursts. He looked great against Kevin Lee recently as well, so I know his training camps are paying off, and I know his technical ability is there. I expect intensity. I expect Diego to take chances, to put himself on the line. I'm going to do the same thing as well. I don't think he's going to hold back any of his shots. 4-ounce or 16-ounce gloves makes no difference. We're both going to try and punch each other in the face and body as hard as we can. And I'm hoping to find a few more targets than he finds on me. And as he said, I will be studying him. This is a, I've spent several years studying everybody else's fights. I've taken myself out of the equation, and I learned a lot about studying people. So now I get to put myself back in the equation, hopefully without my ego in the way this time. When I'm 40 this year. I'm a bit older now. Get my ego out of the way and look at this objectively and figure out, what I have to do to beat Diego, who I know is a great opponent. He's going to come ready. I'm thankful to be up here. I'm thankful for Diego for making the trip over as well. I'm sharing this stage with legends. I grew up watching these guys fight, and to be sitting next to Ricky and Marco it's beyond my wildest dreams, to be honest.
Congrats, man.
Diego, I heard you talking about how in the later stages of your career, you start to value your opponents a little bit more. What process did you go through to get to this?
Well, throughout my career, I was just so intense and a pressure fighter, and I just was. I liked to think of it as war and that warrior spirit inside of me. But last year, I had a real run-in with COVID, and I was in the hospital and almost died. And while I was in there, I was messaging Dan. I was messaging a lot of people. And when I came out of the hospital and I got the opportunity to get back into combat sports with the fight with Kevin Lee and Eagle FC, I just had a different appreciation for the opponent and a better understanding for that it really truly does take two guys to do this. And as you get older, now I'm 40. I've been there again, guy. I've been the confident guy. I've been all facets of the face-off. But now as I'm older, I know that I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. And so I got to give him the respect. I got to give him the respect that I couldn't do it without him. And when you have that type of respect, you can go in there and you can beat the shit out of each other and give each other a hug, a handshake, and make a friend in the end. And that's what true combat sports is all about, is about the honor and the integrity and the relationships that you make in this sport. And that's why we allow each other to beat the hell out of each other. It's for you guys too, the fans. But we love the journey, and we love being on both sides, And as you get older, you just have more respect.
Diego, that was beautifully put, thank you. We're going to wrap up here for this part of the day. We'll be heading through to the roof terrace in a second. If there's anything you didn't get a hold of, you'll have a chance to speak with all the fighters. And again, thank you very much for coming.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.